Hey everyone, Aeon here. I just woke up, but I have been thinking a lot lately after the recent Zelda Breath of the Wild trailer and what we were shown at the Game Awards 2016. And a lot of topics and speculations have been said here and there, so probably won't go on too long. I'm probably not the first one to say this stuff, but I felt like I should give my opinion on this. So, to pretty much summarize what we were shown, let's see. We were first given kind of like a artistic showing how I would assume how the Kingdom of Hyrule was created, or Hyrule's history before it is in ruin, like it is currently. We were given we were shown like the Sheikah symbol, and then the teardrop where it drops, and then like plants, trees were grown, and all that. Which gives the idea, in my opinion, that the Sheikah were probably involved with the creation of Hyrule. Not the world itself that the three gods are in, but just the kingdom. Which would make sense because the Sheikah are very loyal to the Hylians, or at least the royal family. We get shots of villages, actual people, or NPCs, so that also leaves some worry from me, because I was worried that there weren't gonna be as much villages or people to interact, because the excuse would be like, oh, it's a post-apocalyptic Hyrule, not much of civilization. So I hope, due to the scale of how Hyrule is, that we'll see more species and all that stuff, and more people. We also get, it kind of cuts back and forth between the history of Hyrule and what is going on presently. We get to see like a bunch of those BMO statue looking things that were shown a lot during the whole trailers, that it was like a picture of Hyrule and a whole massive army of these, which led to believe that, yeah, Hyrule did create these, but then it massively backfired. Maybe. And then it cuts to, with Link having the Master Sword on his back. Now, we never get to see it drawn, but since it's on his back, I would assume that it's not in bad condition. That, or they're doing what kind of like Minish Cap was, where the sword is still in the sheath, but if you pull it out, it's still in bad condition, so maybe he might have to get repaired. And then I can't remember their names, but it's pretty much, if you played Wind Waker, it's the bird people that live in Dragon Roots Islands, it hoists Link up and then takes him up to an airship, where lots of people saw during E3 that there was something big in the sky that looked like an airship. Well, it's nice that we might get to see a means of fast travel, or explore more than just Hyrule. Maybe just the sky itself, which would make sense for what I have as a theory here. Which would be the most interesting shot, would be that we get to see a image of a girl in blue clothing that's similar to Link's, long hair that's down to the waist, that the color is similar to Link's hair color, and is holding what I think is the Sheikah slab that Link has. Maybe. Now, at first glance, maybe, even I felt, even I said it, but at first glance, I immediately thought it was Zelda, but that's not the case at the last scene later on. We'll get to that later. So, then it kind of just shows more of the whole environment, the world. It also shows how I would say the dark matter that is the Calamity Ganon destroying Hyrule, or at least a town, because it shows like ruins and all that stuff, which kind of looks like the ruins of the one. It kind of shows like the ruins. No, the ruins look like the town of Hyrule Castle from Twilight Princess. We also get to see Link being like covered by glow particles for some reason, with some object being mostly covered from the left side of the camera. Like you're only getting to see a portion of it. Then I'm kind of iffy of trying to remember most of the stuff, but we also get, before that shot, we also have seen that there are some of the villagers or NPC characters are fighting the enemies. Now, there were only 2 of the NPC characters fighting 2 moblins, so I'm not sure it's going to be a massive scale of like armies fighting each other, or I don't know. Maybe it might have side quests there, and you're gonna have to help some people. That would be interesting. That maybe Link's traveling by, he sees people being attacked, and it's like if you help them, you get items. That would be pretty neat. It would give lot of variety of what to do. And lastly, the shot that we saw was Link kneeling down with the Master Sword still, to what can be described as a woman in a blue dress, but this is not exactly the same woman as we saw in the other shot, who was holding what can be thought of as the Sheikah Slate, given that, yeah, it's blue dress, but the gloves are different, most of the attire it's more a dress than what the woman was wearing. That's kind of like a tunic. So, what people have been thinking of multiple things. That the woman that we first saw is a new character, while this person is Zelda. Second is that they're both Zelda, but Zelda gets a costume change later on. And then lastly is that possibly they're hinting that this is female Link. Maybe. I can't exactly say that for sure. We haven't gotten exactly confirmation of that. And, well, Nomura, I don't know if what he said when it comes to people asking why can't they play as Link, that he needs to find something for Link to do. This doesn't exactly have to do with any of that, but I mean, I don't know if he's exactly denying that there can't be a female Link, or maybe he has had a change of heart. Who knows? So then now for the gameplay footage that was shown by Bill and some other person I can't remember. So we get a glimpse of Link traveling to, I guess, what can be shown as a jungle, and they specifically say that these are shrines, but the structure of from getting to the end goal kind of seems like it's a whole dungeon, because they had to do lots of exploration and all that stuff. We get to see some new, I would want to say new creatures, kinda. I forgot what the bird was, but apparently there was another of the bird creatures that was playing the accordion. I was playing the main song of Breath of the Wild. And what he sings in the text box below kind of gives hint of the structure of the whole land that they're going through, or whatever trial that they're doing. And so they fight through some bokoblins, I believe that's what they are, some having different abilities. Like, one was able to pretty much make an electric field around them that I would say would give massive damage if you get near it. But then it also hit Link with just its spear, which it did give lots of damage. He had 9 hearts, and he was down to 3 in one hit, and he was sent flying. Now, if you ever played Zelda Twilight Princess HD and used Hero Mode, and I guess the Ganondorf amiibo here, you would probably know the experience of like how damage is dealt with in that kind of mode, where Hero Mode is doubled, and then with the Ganondorf amiibo, it's 4 times damage now. So it's not exactly new. We also get some interesting archers that are shooting electric projectiles. So now the enemies are also using the high-tech technology that we have seen before. And even though that the main giant boss was not exactly a boss, but was the boss of the whole shrine thing, was smart enough to avoid the bomb that the players planted to try to blow it up. Compared to, I guess this is a bad comparison, because Dark Souls or Bloodborne games are naturally harder, but that still doesn't exactly give the impression that the enemies or combat is going to be easy. We haven't exactly seen a boss, is the thing. That's not exactly a boss. That was more like a mini-boss. So I would hope that there is kind of difficulty curve. Maybe they can change this by maybe having at the beginning of the game you have your hard or normal, or I guess in this case normal mode and hero mode. And that's about it. After they beat the mini boss, going through the whole jungle, they cut it there. They played it on the Wii U, not the Nintendo Switch. And from what I could see, there was kind of a bad fog, because the screen kind of had a dirty brownish screen over it. And yeah, fog effects do that, but it wasn't exactly good, because especially when Link's climbing up and the camera goes up, you can see like a whole clear gap of the fog and all that. So it's, I mean, in my opinion, it's not exactly as good. And the frame rate can't exactly handle multiple enemies at once, because Link does get bombarded by tons of enemies, and the frame rate is not staying at a constant level. I wouldn't mind if it stays at 40 or 30 frames per second, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm hoping for with Switch. So it kind of bums me that if the Wii U can exactly process Breath of the Wild, then we're probably going to have to use Switch, which I was just thinking that I would just get Breath of the Wild for the Wii U, because right now the Switch doesn't exactly hold my interest, because I don't know much about it yet. So yeah, and that's kind of what I have thought of gameplay wise and all that stuff. But now for the lore aspect, where do I guess here's my personal thoughts first of like when it comes to the lore. I do not care about the timeline. I think any Zelda game can stand on its own. We don't need a timeline, and the timeline's already screwy enough as it is. It's really contradicting itself from what other Zelda games established. So even if I am a big Zelda fan at heart, yeah, there are some issues I have with the series, or I can't give it some slack. So pardon me if any of this is very judgmental. I don't think it is. But what I would like to say, what I think Breath of the Wild would probably take place in the timeline. For all those that are like making theories and digging into info and just going on about where in this game does it take place in the timeline. I say it takes place after Skyward Sword. It makes sense because you got Hylia statues, you got the Temple of Time, you got the Koroks, you got the bird people, you got the ruins that look like the castle town of Twilight Princess. All of these are in completely different timelines. How would they exactly fit if in one timeline, if they were never established in the past of other Zelda games, if it's in like recent time, like if it's in the Fallen Hero timeline, none of it has what the child timeline and the adult timeline have. And the same thing goes with the other one. Even though you put it in child timeline, if you have all the stuff that Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, and Four Swords have established, it still doesn't have what Wind Waker, Spirit Tracks, and Phantom Hourglass have established. So now you can see the problem here with the timeline itself, that you have so much concrete rules they need to follow, which I guess it can go. I guess this goes without saying that it can be the same with every lore that's in a franchise. But Zelda in particular, due to like Nintendo's just finding themselves in a corner, trying to establish a world or whatever, especially with what Skyward Sword I started. I don't hate Skyward Sword. I did enjoy it, but it's not exactly my favorite Zelda game. So, anyway. So, yeah, I just feel like it would make sense with it being after Skyward Sword. Before, or maybe, like, when Hyrule is just recently built. Because we only got to see Impa of the Sheikah in Skyward Sword. But it's weird that she would be the only Sheikah. I'm sure there are plenty of others out there in the world. So, like, Link and Zelda find the Sheikah, and they need to establish a kingdom in order to protect the Triforce and whatnot. And so that's kind of the creation. And the Sheikah are highly advanced technology-wise, so that would explain the whole Beam of Statues creatures thing. But it does backfire. And the Calamity Ganon since Fi is in fact was going to sleep in dormant, Fi, whatever. In the end of Skyward Sword, the sword is sealed and Fi, along with any remains of Demise. Master Sword is a bit broken in Breath of the Wild. Could the seal have weakened? Maybe. But however, it also depends. What's the difference? Like, what's the length of time between between Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild is the question. Not sure it's going to be recent, because considering that there are ruins and it's been 100 years, maybe. That's kind of just what I think. So, I have hopes that this game will do good. I am looking forward to it. I'm just wondering for technical from a technical point of view to a lore point of view, that it doesn't exactly fall short. So, yeah. So these are my thoughts. I would like to hear what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you all later.